You feel accomplished. You just booked your Disney World motel room at Big Bob's Big Botanical Bungalows. You soon find out that those bungalows are a shed with unkept grass going up to the windows. And you find out you're about an hour away from the footsteps of the Magic Kingdom. You seriously regret your decision and wish you had booked on property. Here is an overview of Walt Disney World Resort. Let's shuffle down Main Street. Hello, I'm Gavin, and this is Waters on Main Street, where we talk about Disney parks. Today, let's talk about Walt Disney World Resorts. When Walt Disney World opened on October 1st, 1971, it had two hotels, the Contemporary Resort and the Polynesian Village Resort. The Contemporary is a resort that has a monorail going through the center of it. A monorail. Catarails are awesome too. That's a good idea. They should have a hotel based on cats. The Aristocats Luxury Hotel. Historically, on November 17th, 1973, the Contemporary was the site of what would become one of the most famous press conference statements in modern American politics. This is where President Nixon said that statement. You know, that statement, "I am not a crook." The Polynesian Resort also opened in 1971. Side note, in December of 1974, John Linden. Who is John Linden? John Linden Chocolates. Side note, in December of 1974 at the Polynesian Village Resort, John Lennon signed the papers that would put the kibosh to the Beatles. Obladi oblada. There are perks of staying on Walt Disney World Resort property. You can get early entry to parks, Fast Pass Plus reservations earlier than non-Disney resorters. Resorter. I said it, resorter. Like risotto, but it's a resorter. You can get Disney dining plans added to your package, free parking at parks, free transportation to parks through a bus, boats, monorails, or a Skyliner. You also have resort activities that include games/trivia at the pools. There are movies outdoors at night. Also some character dining. You are in complete Disney immersion at the resort. It's like you never left the park. It just keeps going and going and going and going. You are also closer to the parks. And one last thing, you have a thing called the Magical Express. It's a bus that picks you up at the Orlando airport and takes you to your hotel room, and it returns you to the airport when your vacation ends. Now heads up, this Magical Express will no longer exist after 2021. Sad emoji. There are different levels of resorts. There's value, moderate, deluxe, and deluxe villas. I'll have the cheeseburger deluxe. The deluxe villa resorts are made up of suites with studios and 1 to 2 to 3 bedroom units depending on the property. These resorts are primarily used by the Disney Vacation Club Disney's timeshare program, but sometimes these rooms are available and non-members can stay there. DVC, Wish and Bucket List. There are also hotels on Walt Disney World property that aren't owned by Disney, like Four Seasons Resort Orlando. There is the Walt Disney World Dolphin and Swan Hotel, plus the Waldorf Astoria. I wonder if this is where the Waldorf salad came from. Anyone? Does anyone know? Also, if you're in active duty with the military or retired, you can't stay at Shades of Green. This hotel is really close to the Seven Seas Lagoon. It has a golf course. It is very convenient and they have really good prices if you're in the military. There is also the campsites at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. You can pitch a tent or hook up an RV or even get a cabin at the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. Insider's tip, if you stay there, you may want to rent a golf cart. It's a humongous place. The value resorts are the lowest priced resorts on property. They include Disney's All-Star Music Resort, Movies Resort, and Sports Resort. I had a nickname in my youth, All-Star. All-Star. It has not stuck. There is also Disney's Pop Century Resort, The buildings are themed throughout the decades, from 1950s and onward. There is also Disney's Art of Animation. These resorts have basic food courts and bus transportation to parks. Art of Animation and Pop Century also have Disney's Skyliner that would take you to Epcot or Disney's Hollywood Studios. There are the moderate resorts, which include Disney's Port Orleans Resort, Riverside and French Quarter. There is Disney's Coronado Springs Resort and Disney's Caribbean Resort. The high-end and pricey resorts include the Deluxe Resorts. These are fancy places with really nice lobbies and multiple restaurants and pools. This is where I would like to stay every day of my life. These resorts include Disney's Boardwalk Inn, Disney's Beach Club Resort, Disney's Yacht Club Resort, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Contemporary Resort, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, and Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Some of the deluxe villas include Disney's Old Key West Resort, Disney's Riviera Resort, and Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. That place is really close to Disney Springs, so if you like the Disney Springs, stay at the Saratoga. There are all kinds of choices for all kinds of budgets. You could be like my wife and I, where we get multiple resort stays on one trip. We'll stay at a very low price resort and then stay at the really nice resort at the end of the trip. It's like staying at the third class on the Titanic and then moving up to first class. And one fell swoop. And now for Main Street popcorn. Do you have your salt and butter ready? When Walt Disney World opened in 1971, there were plans for other hotels in the Magic Kingdom area. These unbuilt resorts include Disney's Asian Resort, which would be based on the culture of Thailand with Thai furnishings and cuisine. It was to open in 1974. Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is now there in the place of that land. There was also plans for Disney's Persian Resort. The resort would have been laid out in a circle with a central building. It would have had a 24-foot dome on the main building. The Persian Resort was going to be located off of Bay Lake, and there was going to be a monorail connecting it to Tomorrowland. The last unbuilt resort originally was going to be the Disney's Venetian Resort. This one was supposed to open on opening day, October 1st, 1971, off of Seven Seas Lagoon in between the Ticket and Transportation Center and the Contemporary. It was going to be themed off of Venice, Italy. All of these resorts were not built due to the 1973 oil crisis. So what do you think? The Thai resort, Thai food all day long? Yeah. Thai. Tie me up. Like, subscribe, clink that bell. Enjoy the journey. I'll catch you next time.